For years, amid the investigations and lawsuits and bottled water giveaways, residents of Flint, Michigan, kept asking one question about the water crisis that plagued their city: would Rick Snyder, the governor who led the state during the debacle, face criminal charges for what had happened? Mr. Snyder, a Republican who left office in January after term limits prevented him from seeking re-election, has not been charged with any crimes. But search warrants released Monday revealed that investigators had seized the cell phone he used while in office and other mobile devices, as well as devices belonging to dozens of members of his administration. The warrants, first reported by the Associated Press, signaled that prosecutors examining the Flint water crisis in recent months have been scrutinizing Mr. Snyder. The team is currently in the process of obtaining this evidence through a variety of means, including search warrants. A Solicitor General Fadway Hamwood, a member of the prosecution team, said in a written statement. The team is also conducting a thorough review of existing and newly received evidence pertaining to the Flint water crisis. Flint, a financially challenged city with nearly 100,000 residents, became synonymous with government failure after an emergency manager appointed by Mr. Snyder changed the city's drinking water source to the Flint River in 2014 in an effort to save money. Within weeks, residents began complaining that their water smelled funny, tasted foul, and was causing illnesses. The residents were correct. Flint's water was tainted by lead and linked to a deadly Legionnaires' saw outbreak. But government officials, including members of Mr. Snyder's administration, dismissed those complaints for months and assured residents that their tap water was safe. Errors by state, local and federal officials exacerbated the crisis and delayed the response. As the scope of the crisis became clear in 2016, Mr. Snyder apologized for not taking action sooner and promised state assistance. Attempts to reach Mr. Snyder on Monday were not immediately successful. I am sorry most of all that I let you down, Mr. Snyder said in 2016. You deserve better. You deserve accountability. You deserve to know that the buck stops here with me. Most of all, you deserve to know the truth, and I have a responsibility to tell the truth. But even as he promised help and as members of his administration were charged with felonies, Mr. Snyder denied any criminal wrongdoing. An investigation started by the state attorney general led to charges against 15 people in state and local government, including a member of Mr. Snyder's cabinet and emergency managers he appointed. Through it all, residents continued to ask whether Mr. Snyder would be prosecuted. Just because you are the governor of a state does not make you immune to facing accountability for your actions and inactions, said Melissa Mays, a Flint resident and water activist, after the new search warrants seeking information about Mr. Snyder and others were revealed. Ms. Mays, who is among the many Flint residents who still does not drink tap water, said she thought the search warrants would open a lot of doors to some answers and hopefully justice. Still, it remained unclear whether the inclusion of Mr. Snyder's iPhone and iPad in the search warrants signaled a new focus by prosecutors or just a broad review of records. The investigative team has been overhauled since Attorney General Dana Nessel, a Democrat, took office early this year. Her predecessor was a Republican. Another Democrat, Gretchen Whitmer, took office as governor, replacing Mr. Snyder. Records show that the investigators also have sought records from several other officials, including some who had been charged with crimes and many who had not. Included in the search warrant were former Lieutenant Governor Brian Calley, who has not been charged, and Nick Lyon, the former Health and Human Services Secretary, who is accused of involuntary manslaughter.